Strawberry is finally here. OpenAI's newest model, which had that code name when it was under development, is officially out. You can use it if you are a premium user within ChatGPT. And these are the three things that you need to know about the new model. And the first thing you need to know is that this model resets the counter in terms of ChatGPT's naming conventions, or in general, naming conventions for OpenAI's model. So we saw GPT-3, 3.5, 4 Turbo, then we got that random 40 at the end. Now they've gone to 0, just in general, 01. So that's the new model's actual name, is ChatGPT 01. Again, I like Strawberry better as a code name, but OpenAI has said this is such a new change in how they're approaching their models that they've reset the counter. So we didn't go up to GPT-5 yet. We went from GPT 4.0 to GPT 0.1. When they release the next model, the one people have just been calling GPT-5 for a long time, that's anticipated to come out relatively soon, who knows? Will they still call it that? Will it be GPT-02? Will it be GPT-1? I have no idea. But that's the first thing to know. If you're confused as to how this relates to the other models, they reset the counter. It's not GPT-5, but again, that might be coming along, hopefully sooner rather than later. The second thing to know about the model is how it actually works. So GPT-01, as we'll call it here, or Strawberry, uses reasoning, as OpenAI says, to make its choices and to respond to you. So before, whereas ChatGPT, under the other models like GPT-4, would have just instantly tapped out the response to what you put in, this model apparently takes its time. It puzzles over things that you're asking it and spends more time thinking about them. Of course, it's not really thinking. It's still a large language model, but that slower process means that it can do things that you might not be able to do with GPT-4 much more accurately. So here's a question I recently asked it. What's the population of the cities in the 925 area code? And what it's going to do is, instead of just instantly trying to respond from some information in its training set, it's going to think about it, break it down into parts, probably find out, okay, what cities are in that area code, what are their population numbers, and you can see it kind of says these little things as it's going, tells you how long it thought for, and then in fact that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to list out all the cities in there, and then their population numbers, and then a total population count. I don't know if these are accurate. They sound about right. It's saying, approximately for each of these. So that's a problem that GPT-4 or 4.0 would have struggled with, probably would have gotten wrong. It's thinking too fast. By slowing it down, breaking the problem into parts, especially for a more complex problem like this, where you first have to find out, okay, what cities am I looking at? Then what are the populations? Let's list them all out. What's the total? It does a much better job with that kind of reasoning. Now, the third thing you need to know is that this is a complex and expensive model for OpenAI to run, because it does take longer to do things. It's going to be using more processing power. And so as a result of that, they're limiting the number of conversations you can have with it. So I believe the limit at the moment, as I'm making this video, is 50 conversations per week. That might decrease, or probably will, as the model gets more streamlined, gets more use, they have more training data for it. But just know right now, you can't talk to this thing all day long.